Hi, and thanks for tuning in.
I'm Summer.
And I'm Sam.
We're both engineers on the SwiftUI team.
And we're excited to tell you all about what's new in SwiftUI.
To help with our karaoke habit, Sam and I have been working on an app to plan our regular team karaoke parties. Our app harnesses so many improvements to SwiftUI, and we're excited to share those improvements with you. Starting with plenty of great features to make your apps feel brand new. Tools to refine your apps so they feel at home on every platform. Widespread improvements to the foundational building blocks of the framework. And a whole suite of new tools for crafting immersive experiences. Whew, that's a lot to cover. So let's dive right in. You can really freshen up your apps with SwiftUI. From a new TabView to beautiful MeshGradients and snappy controls. Sam and I wrote a karaoke event planner app. It's primarily a sidebar-driven app. And in iOS 18, the sidebar has become a lot more flexible. With just the touch of a button, our main view changes to a tab bar representation for showing more of that beautiful UI. The tab bar now floats above the content. People can even customize the experience completely to their liking, reordering the items and hiding infrequently used options. It was easy to rewrite my main view to use the new tab view. Now, TabView has a new type-safe syntax in SwiftUI to make it easier to catch common errors at build time. As your content grows, it's simple to make your tab view more flexible. By just applying the new sidebar adaptable tab view style, karaoke planners can now switch between the tab bar and the sidebar view. The sidebar looks great when you have a lot of content, like all of these song lists. And it even has customization behavior like reordering and removing tabs, which is completely programmatically controllable. The refreshed sidebar also looks great on tvOS, and you can style the tab view to appear as a sidebar or as a segmented control in the toolbar on macOS. Sheet presentation sizing is now unified and simplified across platforms. You can use the presentation sizing modifier to create perfectly sized sheets with .form or .page, or even use custom sizing. SwiftUI supports a new zoom navigation transition too, and I can use it to make expanding info on a party look gorgeous. For more on the new tab view, check out Improve Your Tab and Sidebar Experience on iPad. And to dive deeper into new animations, watch Enhance Your UI Animations and Transitions. You can now create your own custom resizable controls such as buttons and toggles that live in Control Center or the lock screen and can even be activated by the action button. Controls are a new kind of widget that are easy to build with app intents. With just a few lines of code, I can create a control widget button to get the WWDC karaoke party started at a moment's notice. To learn how to use the new and powerful Controls API to customize your configurable buttons and toggles, check out Access Your App's Controls Across the System. Sam and I have been working hard to grow our karaoke party attendance. I think an exponential function seems like a very reasonable goal. Function plotting in Swift Charts makes it easy for me to draw beautiful graphs like this line plot. I'll go ahead and graph the actual attendance too. Oof, not quite there yet. To dig deeper into the improvements in Swift Charts, catch Swift Charts, Vectorized, and Function Plots. As a data nerd, I also like to keep track of how much the attendees are singing at the parties. Using TableColumnForEach, I can now have a dynamic number of table columns for however many parties Sam and I have. To boost our attendance numbers, I think we should send out some colorful party invites. SwiftUI has added first-class support for colorful mesh gradients. By interpolating between the points on a grid of colors, you can create a beautiful lattice. This sounds like the perfect way to make our karaoke invites as snazzy as our parties. Now that the Karaoke Planner app is looking fresh, Sam and I want to have a little extra fun by customizing our lyrics. So we've also built a document-based app for editing the words to our favorite songs. I crafted this launch screen to express my app's individuality and highlight its features using the new Document Launch scene type. I created a big, bold title, customized the background, and added some fun accessory views to really make my launch experience pop. To learn more about all you can do with document-based apps like custom document icons and templates, watch Evolve Your Document Launch Experience. I'm going to put a finishing touch on my launch screen now, using a symbol effect on my music notes. Wow, my symbols really do wiggle wiggle. Apps can now adopt 3 new animation presets for SF symbols. The wiggle effect oscillates a symbol in any direction or angle to draw attention. The breathe effect smoothly scales a symbol up and down to indicate ongoing activity. And the rotate effect spins some parts of a symbol around a designated anchor point. Some of the existing presets have also been enhanced with new features. For example, the default replace animation now prefers a new magic replace behavior. With magic replace, symbols smoothly animate badges and slashes. These are just a few of the enhancements to SF Symbols 6. To learn more, watch What's New in SF Symbols. SwiftUI brings great improvements to making your apps feel at home on any of Apple's platforms. With improved windowing, more control over input, and lots of glanceable content, your apps can take advantage of whatever platform they're on. You can now tailor the style and behavior of windows on macOS. In my Lyric Editor app on macOS, I have a window that shows a single-line preview. I used the new plain window style to remove the default window Chrome, and gave it a floating window level so it shows on top of any other windows. I used the default window placement API to place it at the top of the screen so it doesn't cover up the rest of my lyrics. I took into account the size of the display and the size of the content to place it in the perfect spot. I also added a window drag gesture to the content view of the preview so I can adjust its position on screen by dragging it around. There are new scene types too, like utility window. To learn more about ways to customize the style and behavior of your windows, watch Tailor macOS Windows with SwiftUI. This multi-window lyrics editor app works great on visionOS too. Recently, my fellow karaoke pal Andrew showed me how he's using this new push window action in the Botanist app to help him keep his most important content focused. Push window can be used to open a window and hide the originating window. I definitely want to do the same thing in my lyrics editor, so I'll use the push window environment action to focus on my lyric preview. Learn more in the video, Work with Windows in SwiftUI. SwiftUI gives you many new tools for taking advantage of the unique input methods each platform offers. In visionOS, you can make views react when people look at them, place a finger near them, or move the pointer over them, all while preserving people's privacy. Within the new closure-based hover effect modifier, I can control how the view looks as it transitions between the active and inactive states. To learn how you can also coordinate multiple effects, control the timing of an effect, and respond to accessibility settings, check out Create Custom Hover Effects in visionOS. Great iPadOS, macOS, and visionOS apps provide great keyboard support. In the main menu on macOS, I have an item to open my preview window. I've added the new Modifier Key Alternate Modifier, and on press of the Option key, I can reveal a secondary item to preview in full screen. For low-level control, any view can respond to Modifier Key Press state changes. I updated the lyric editor to use On Modifier Keys Changed. So when I hold down Option, I can see and adjust an extra alignment guide for where the bouncing ball lands on the lyrics. Pointer interaction is another important form of input across many devices. The Pointer Style API lets you customize the appearance and visibility of the system pointer. Since I made my lyrics resizable, I'll apply an appropriate frame resize pointer style on each resize anchor. New in iPadOS 17.5, SwiftUI has added support for features of Apple Pencil and Apple Pencil Pro, like Double Tap and Squeeze. With On-Pencil Squeeze, I can gather information from the gesture and see what action is preferred. In this case, I'm going to show my lyrics doodle palette under the pencil's hover location so I can mark up my lyrics with fun drawings. To learn more about all the new Apple Pencil APIs, head over to Squeeze the Most out of Apple Pencil. Widgets offer glanceable information and key interactions with your apps. And now that live activities have also come to watchOS, your iOS-based live activities will automatically show up on Apple Watch without any work on your part. Sam and I already have this live activity to review song lyrics on the go, and I can see it showing up automatically on my Apple Watch. To make it look really amazing, I can use the new Small Supplemental Activity family to tailor the content for watchOS, showing more lyrics at once. Nice! And to allow our singers to advance the lyrics using Double Tap, I can apply the hand gesture shortcut modifier. I also want to be sure that I always know when I'm up next at a karaoke event, so I added a widget to my Planner app using the new reference date format style to show a countdown to karaoke o'clock. Text now has additional formats for the display of live times and dates that work great in widgets and live activities. These formats include date references, date offsets, and timers. Each format is deeply customizable down to its components and can even adapt to the size of its container. Widgets are smarter now too. Specify relevant contexts so the system can more intelligently surface them in places like Smart Stacks. With this, my countdown widget can show up automatically at a specified time or when a singer gets close to a planned karaoke venue.
Hey Summer, how's the lyrics editor coming along? I've been thinking up lyrics for my next solo, Cupertino Dreamin', and I've got to get it written down before I forget.
It's going great. I just used it to write some lyrics for Smells Like Scene Spirit. It's gonna rock.
Nice. We can try to slap that in towards the end of the set list.
Oh, that reminds me, the set list. Is it gonna be ready for the WWDC karaoke party?
You bet, Summer. The theme for the songs is all of SwiftUI's great new framework foundations. SwiftUI has added all sorts of new API that make working with the framework feel easier than ever, including improvements to the core components of SwiftUI, new ways to use foundational APIs, and ease-of-use enhancements. You can now create your own custom container views. A new API on ForEach, SubViewOf, lets you iterate over the subviews of a given view, like in this example, where I'm wrapping each subview in its own card view. You can use this to make custom containers that have the same capabilities as SwiftUI's built-in containers, like List and Picker, including mixing static and dynamic content, supporting sections, and adding container-specific modifiers. To learn more about custom containers and the SwiftUI fundamentals behind them, be sure to check out Demystify SwiftUI Containers. New ease-of-use improvements make working with SwiftUI easier than ever. Instead of having to write out a full conformance to environment key and an extension on environment values, you can now just write a simple property with the entry macro. Best of all, it doesn't just work with environment values. The entry macro can also be used with focus values, transaction, and the new container values as well. You can now attach additional information to SwiftUI's built-in accessibility labels. That means you can add additional accessibility information to a control without overriding the framework-provided label. Be sure to check out Catch Up on Accessibility in SwiftUI to learn about all of SwiftUI's amazing new accessibility features, such as conditional modifier support and app intent-based accessibility actions. Xcode Previews has a new dynamic linking architecture that allows you to switch between a preview and build and run without needing to rebuild your project, increasing your iteration speed. And it's now easier to set up previews too. You can now use state directly in previews using the previewable macro, eliminating the boilerplate of wrapping your preview content in a view. There are now new ways to work with text and manage selection. SwiftUI now offers programmatic access to and control of text selection within text editing controls. The contents of my selection binding update to match the selected text of the lyric fields. Now, I can read properties of the selection, such as the selected ranges. I can use this to show suggested rhymes for selected words in the inspector. With Search Focused, you can programmatically drive the focus state of a search field, meaning you can check if a search field is focused on, and programmatically move focus to and from the search field. You can now add text suggestions to any text field. I'll use this to provide suggestions for how to finish a line. The suggestions appear as a drop-down menu, and when I pick an option, my text field updates with the selected completion. SwiftUI also has new graphics capabilities. You can now beautifully mix colors together. A new mix modifier on color blends it with another color by a given amount. We've also extended the custom shader feature with the ability to pre-compile shaders before their first use, so you can avoid frame drops caused by lazy shader compilation. There are a bunch of new APIs to give you fine-grained control of your scroll views. You can now have a deeper level of integration with the state of a scroll view, with on-scroll geometry change, which lets you performantly react to changes in things like content offsets, content size, and more, like with this Back to Invitation button, which appears when I scroll past the top of the scroll view's contents. You can now detect when a view's visibility has changed due to scrolling, letting you create great experiences centered around content moving on or off screen, like this auto-playing video. Not only do you have more programmatic control over your scroll view, but you also have more scroll positions to programmatically scroll to, like the top edge. There are all sorts of additional knobs for you to turn to really dial in on your perfect scrolling experience, like turning off bouncing along a given axis, programmatically stopping scrolling, finally controlling your content alignment, and more. The new Swift 6 language mode enables compile-time data race safety, and SwiftUI has improved its APIs to make it easier to adopt the new language mode in your apps. Views in SwiftUI have always been evaluated on the main actor, and the view protocol is now marked with the main actor annotation to reflect that. That means all types conforming to view are implicitly isolated to the main actor by default. So if you were explicitly marking your views as main actor, you can now remove that annotation without any change in behavior. The new Swift 6 language mode is opt-in, so you can take advantage of it whenever you're ready. To learn more about compile time checking, be sure to watch Migrate Your App to Swift 6. SwiftUI was designed not just for building brand new apps, but also building new features in existing apps written with UIKit and AppKit. Great interoperability with those frameworks is critical. We made significant improvements to the integration of gestures and animation. You can now take any built-in or custom UI gesture recognizer and use it in your SwiftUI view hierarchy. This works even on SwiftUI views that aren't directly backed by UIKit. And the interoperability improvements go the other way as well. UIKit and AppKit can now take advantage of the power of SwiftUI animations. SwiftUI defines a new animate function on UI view and NS animation context, allowing UIKit and AppKit changes to be animated using in-process SwiftUI animations. Velocity is even automatically preserved for gesture-driven animations, just like in SwiftUI views. And UI and NS view representable context provide new APIs for bridging animations started in SwiftUI into UIKit and AppKit, ensuring animations run perfectly in sync, even across framework boundaries. For more on using animations across frameworks, be sure to check out Enhance Your UI Animations and Transitions. Those foundational improvements look great. Now all that's left is to practice my karaoke skills, and then I can get together with Summer and host the party. SwiftUI's new tools for crafting experiences will help with both building a great practice app and setting up the event to be a success. New APIs for working with volumes and immersive spaces, as well as new text effects, help bring our karaoke experience to life. To practice my beautiful vocals, I've built a visionOS practice app featuring a microphone and a volume. In visionOS 2, volumes can show a bass plate. This helps you get a sense of the bounds of the volume and guides you to window controls, including the new resize handle. Our microphone already has a microphone stand base, so I like the look of it without the system-provided baseplate. I'll use the volume baseplate visibility modifier to disable the system-provided baseplate. Nice! I also made my microphone rotate to always face the singer, using the new on-volume viewpoint change modifier. This is called anytime I move to a new side of the volume, letting me react to changes in how it's being viewed. I've got my microphone. Now I need a place to put it, and there is no better place to sing karaoke than a moody karaoke lounge. I've already got a beautiful immersive space, and I can now control the allowed immersion levels. By choosing an initial immersion of 50% and a minimum of 40%, I can help singers ease into the karaoke lounge. To help set the vibe, I can now apply effects to the pass-through video around my progressive immersive space. I could use preferred surroundings effect to dim video pass-through, or to really make our karaoke experience special, I can use color multiply for some cool mood lighting. Ooh, that's fantastic. For more on improvements to volumes and immersive spaces, including new ways to attach ornaments and specify supported viewpoints, be sure to check out Dive Deep into Volumes and Immersive Spaces. The stage is set, but before we start the party, we need lyrics we can follow along with. You can now extend SwiftUI text views with custom rendering effects and interaction behaviors. I can use this to build a word highlighting effect for our karaoke lyrics. My karaoke renderer creates a copy of the text behind the original drawing, which is blurred and has a tint, making the text look like it's glowing purple. By applying this highlight effect to only certain words and adding some final polish, I can make some truly incredible effects, like this karaoke word highlighting. To learn all about how to create these amazing text effects, be sure to check out Create Custom Visual Effects with SwiftUI. Alright, Summer, I think we've done all our party prep.
It's really coming together.
These changes to SwiftUI really helped Summer and I make the most of our apps, and we want you to make the most of yours too.
If you have a sidebar-based iPad or tvOS app, leverage the new TabView APIs to allow for more flexibility. And for document-based apps, enhance your new document launch experience.
Add new windowing and input capabilities to your macOS and visionOS apps.
Make the most of your live activity by fine-tuning your experience on watchOS.
And take advantage of the new capabilities in volumes and immersive spaces on visionOS.
It's looking like a good year to be a SwiftUI developer.
And karaoke singer.
All right, Sam, are you ready?
I was born ready, Summer.
Hey Siri, start the party!